and I grew up in the Child Park neighborhood. That's my stomping ground.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Judy Jetson. I lived around the Tampa Bay area for about 25 years. Then escaped the hurricanes and went up to Asheville, North Carolina for a little while. And have just moved back and decided I wanted Gulfport to be my home and have been amazed at everything that's on 49th Street. And I just came to see if there's any way I could be involved that would help.
Hold that thought. We got a spot for you now.
Hi, Nancy Worley. I'm the Ward 4 Council member for Gulfport, City of Gulfport. I am to work with Nancy and joyful day when she's here. And Brother John, in any way I can be helpful.
Hi, I'm Carrie Nelson. I live in Ward 3. Full disclosure, I am running for city council and I'm here to learn all about what's going on here with the 49th Street. I'm really interested in the Safe Streets program.
My name is Cammie Scott. I grew up in Pinellas County, but not necessarily in Gulfport, although I live there now. I'm interested in having a safe community for my grandchildren, and we're here representing Little Tree Nursery.
My name is Rachel Perino. We live together just a couple blocks away. We have a nonprofit for educating and supporting people to live more sustainably with an emphasis on food production. It's called Little Tree Homestead. So since we're so close, we kind of wanted to just check this out and see what's happening and how we can help. Yes.
This is Shane with Albert. Are you done with Albert? Oh, you guys are doing the people in the home tour.
Yeah. Hopefully our yard will not look quite as miserable as it does right
Well, you have a mom.
now. All the cold front fresh stuff.
I am Amanda Meany Warden. I am the stylist at Girls Salon Social here with Diana and just here for more community involvement. Hi, I'm Diana Reed. I'm the owner of Feral Salon and Social. We're on 49th Street and Newton, so we're very interested in supporting this fusion we finally got down here. We've been here a year and finally made it to a meeting, and we're very interested in the Safe Streets initiative. Says we're right out on 49th, so we want to help.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Sachs. I work for the city of St. Petersburg in our transportation and park management department. I am glad you all are here tonight. I have a great update for you.
Franklin, I'm the president of the Council of Neighborhood Associations, big user of the trail here. I live over in Campbell Park, home of Fabby's 2.0.
Oh, yeah.
We got 1.0 over here.
Yeah, that's the original one over here. And then Brother John.
Brother John Mohammed, president of Child Park Neighborhood Association and board member for Fusion 49.
All right, so the first thing on our agenda that we're going to be starting off with, Melania, do you want to introduce yourself? I'm sorry, my granddaughter's in the room. You want to introduce yourself? Tell them your name. Okay, welcome, Melania. All right, so I do want to start the agenda off. We're going to be starting off with safe streets and transportation updates. This is going to be presented by yours truly, Ms. Cheryl Stacks. She does have information, and she's the transportation manager of the city of St. Petersburg.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to pass these around. I figured it'd be easier than trying to look at a small screen. So I have the presentation. I made most of this presentation to our city's Complete Streets Committee a couple weeks ago, so it's going to be easy to put this all together. And I've got some exciting updates, I think, for the group. Thank you, Franklin. We need for you to pass them out. Hi, thank you. So just as a quick reminder, the 49th Street Safe Street Study was led by Ford Pinellas. That's our county's metropolitan planning organization. They're the group that helps prioritize state and federal funds that come in for transportation in our area. So if you want state or federal funding to pay for transportation projects, you need Ford Pinellas to be at you with the table to do that, because they're the body that kind of helps tell FDOT how to guide the money, right? So Ford Pinellas led the study, and it was really a joint project between the city of St. Petersburg and the city of Gulfport too. right? So the Fort Pinellas got a federal grant to do this study. City of St. Pete and Gulfport put together the matching funds to the tune of about $12,000 each in order for us to do this study. And it was selected because it rose to the countywide site injury network, which means that the roadway was overrepresented and having fatal and severe crashes based on the amount of traffic that it contains. It was identified as a challenge, and then we moved forward to do the study. The study was facilitated in large part by this group, which was kind of an emerging association at the time we started the study, but now really is kind of a more formalized group that's got some good roots. We had done 3 guided walking audits, including one that was at night so that we could discuss lighting issues. There was an online crowdsourced map with over 135 comments that are geolocated, like I want to crosswalk here, I have a problem with this branch there. And then in-person workshop and online survey with over 600 responses. So I think we got a really good turnout, and that was in large part to this group to give us a good understanding as to what was going on 49th Street. Topically speaking, what we heard in those concerns is in this chart on the bottom of page 4 that you can see the biggest concerns were sidewalks, crosswalks, traffic speeds, the intersections, and lighting, right? So those are kind of give us the area where we would need to or want to focus our attention. And so on page 5, you can see what we had come up with is that we would put a wide sidewalk or trail on the east side of the road. There's a right of way over there that would allow us to do that without having to move any curbs. So that was always kind of part of the plan. And then we had 2 alternatives for the roadway. One alternative would be to repurpose some of the lanes from 2 lanes in each direction to a single lane in each direction, dedicating a center turn extra space to create curb extensions and bus space for the buses and those kinds of things. Or we could have looked at an alternative that would put some vertical traffic calming on the street. However, the biggest challenge with the vertical traffic calming is that the city's comprehensive plan kind of precludes us from looking at that right. Only do that vertical stuff on our local streets and in our neighborhoods and not on the busier roads like 49th Street. So we had identified like some opportunities and challenges, and ultimately where we landed, to turn the page, was alternative 1 as being our preferred alternative for what we would move forward with. And so when we finished that study, we did a resolution in support of that alternative in both St. Petersburg and in Gulfport. That kind of gave us the backing to kind of start pursuing the recommendations of this study. So we had also thought that, okay, if we're going to do alternative 1, it might be good for us to test it out, especially if we're going to convert lanes and reduce it from 2 lanes and 1 in each direction to a single lane in each direction. We might want to do that in a way that's less permanent, so that if there are some unintended consequences that we haven't, figured out just yet, or the models are telling us one thing, and we could see something different, and then we could respond accordingly without doing something permanent that might be a little bit more costly, right? So we decided we would apply for another Safe Streets and Roads for All grant. And then on the top of page 9, you'll see the study also had short-term projects, mid-term projects, and then I didn't even bother with the long-term because it's really long-term. So we identified the short-term projects and called it phase 1. And the phase 1 projects are the ones that we thought we could probably do with local funding, right? So we put together a scope, and then in early January of this year, it went to the City of Gulfport Council and the City of St. Petersburg Council to do an interlocal agreement between the 2 jurisdictions for us to implement these improvements. And they're intersection improvements at 4 signalized intersections: 5th Avenue South, Fairfield Avenue South, 11th and 15th Avenue South. And what that will include is refreshing the pavement markings for the crosswalks. They'll have like a stamp underneath it to look like kind of like bricks, but it'll have white markings over top of them too. So they'll be really standing out to people, give a real visual cue for motorists that pedestrians should be here, and it'll be really comfortable for pedestrians to drive across the street. At 18th Avenue South, we'll also refresh the markings, and we'll add flashing beacon lights, the yellow flashing beacon lights on both sides of the intersection, because that intersection is quite long because of the park on the west side there. We'll convert 7 of the little painted medians to raised concrete medians, and that could allow us to have an opportunity to introduce a little bit of landscaping or additional crosswalks. And then look at just adding more speed limit signs, because there aren't a whole lot of speed limit signs on here. We won't adjust the speed limit yet. We don't think that we probably have reduced speeds enough to quite lower the speed limits, but like just enough signage out that kind of reminds motorists, makes it easier for police to enforce. And then we'll also do a lighting study. So all of those activities were something that the St. Pete Council and the Gulfport Council just voted on in January for us to get together and do that project. In total, we think that that project is going to cost about $1.25 million to design and construct. And St. Pete is contributing $750,000 to the project out of the South St. Pete CRI funds, and Gulfport is contributing $500,000. The project's going to be led by the St. Pete team, but we have the city of Gulfport staff kind of in lockstep with us so that it's a real partnership. We work really well together to get with them together. And the maintenance responsibilities fall back on the jurisdictions that are maintaining that parts of the road right now. Because right now we have the center line of the boundary of the city is in the middle of the road, which is a little unusual, right? So basically it just says, if it's in your side of the street, you're going to maintain. So we're all good. Nobody's picking up anything extra at this point. And then the project is going to begin this year. So the contracts are almost, the interlocal agreement is almost done, routing for signature. I think I'm going to have that back tomorrow, and then we'll kick it off with the engineering staff, and then to assign project manager and get into design for these phase 1 improvements that are listed on the bottom of page, slide 10, bottom of page 5. Okay. Then an extra good news, and it's kind of alluded to on the bottom of the agenda. We did apply for that Safe Streets grant for the demonstration project, and Gulfport got the award. Yay! Big kudos to Gulfport and their staff for completing the application for Pinellas assisted as well. Same thing, we put eyes on it and double checked it and kind of looked at for consistency, but otherwise they ran with it and did a great job. So now we've got $800,000 in federal funding that are coming to this area. We're going to have to match that with about $200,000 in total, and we haven't quite figured out that split between Gulfport and St. Pete, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. And it's awaiting execution of the grant with Federal Highways and USDOT. So they've sent us the amount saying, hey, this is going to be the award. And then they've scheduled a kickoff meeting for later this month that will start to go ahead and get the draft template agreement. And then that ultimately have to go to the Gulfport Council, and then we'll probably amend our interlocal agreement between the two jurisdictions to account for the grant. And so what that grant is going to let us do is to do that demonstration project with flexible curbing to go ahead and take it down to 1 lane in each direction, a dedicated center left turn lane, which will be great, and add bus bays for the transit service. And we'll get to do it in a way that tests it. So it includes having us to do that activity, and then also the evaluations to study the effectiveness of it before we do anything permanent. So that is the update. Making progress. Making progress.
All right, do anybody have any questions for Ms. Cheryl while she's present? Questions or concerns?
I'm not concerned. I'm just looking at the one way, going down the way, coming up the other way. So it's a lot of traffic on this road. And you got the school down this way, and people going to work, and they stopping to go slow. That's just the only concern that I have.
Yes.
So
that's a great and valid point, because we did do a traffic study last year while we were doing the review of the demonstration project, and so we did a traffic analysis, and it did show that traffic volumes could potentially decrease if we did this demonstration, which could be a bit of concern for the adjacent businesses, right? Because they may want to make sure that there's a fair amount of vehicular traffic kind of passing by their stores. Because there aren't a lot of good alternatives for people to use, if not 49th Street, right? Like
exactly.
58th is a good bit away, 34th is a good bit away, that kind of thing. So the idea is that we could do the demonstration project, because right now all we have are models. And models are models, right? They're not totally predictive. So I think it'll be informative for us to do the demonstration. And if we see that it's a real problem, we can pull it out. Like no harm, no foul, all good. Good idea. We thought it was going to go well. And maybe it only works in certain sections of 49th Street, maybe, and we have to come up with what those transitions are. But I think doing it in a way that lets us demonstrate with temporary stuff to kind of find out, is this really going to work the way the models say it's gonna work, or is it gonna be different? And that's gonna help us out a lot.
Not only that way, you got that way where the school buses are coming out.
Yes.
So it's just something just to think about. I
Exactly.
just told that out.
Yeah, and to be clear, it's still two directions, it's just one lane in
One
each
lane.
direction. Right, exactly, so
People
you
going
could
both
get,
ways.
you could get a pace car effect, right, where you have one person, if they're going, you know, if they're going moderate, that's probably exactly what you want. If they're going real too slow, that's a problem, or if they're racing behind somebody, that's a problem too, right? So, you know, we're gonna do it in a way that is safe, but it's really gonna inform us to make sure that, all right, how hard is it to turn left off the side streets? Is it, you know, we're gonna learn a lot from this. I think it's gonna help us know before we do anything that costs a lot of money, you know, how to do this, how to do it well. So, good point, good valid questions. I love it. I will say that we have had a turnover in staff on the Gulfport side. Tom Nichols he retired, but he's been handing off stuff over to Kendricks. So I've had some good communications with Kendricks. He said he had a conflict tonight, so he didn't have it on the calendar, but he was the kind of meeting with a group. But just so you know, we're already working together, so all is good on that regard. Good.
Can you expand a little bit on any bike infrastructure and part of this experiment?
Yeah, so, you know, when we did the alternatives analysis, you know, we looked at, even if you did a lane repurposing and you took the lanes down from 4 lanes down to 3 lanes, it really only gives you a little bit of room to make the bike lanes. You couldn't add anything vertical, you couldn't really, it would just be a standard bike lane, and a lot of people felt like that probably wouldn't be comfortable for most people. So the better option would be to repurpose that and use that maybe to support transit and good transit stops, and then build that wide sidewalk path. And then it's up off, it's separated, it's at a different level. Now we have to manage the challenge with pedestrians and bicyclists interacting, right? Like, 'cause that's becoming a bigger problem for us and bigger challenge. But I think there's ways to kind of mitigate that. But really what we found through our engagement is that people would prefer to be kind of behind the curb, even if it's all on one side of the street, then they would prefer to be in the street and too close to the cars. And there wasn't going to be a good way for us to provide a lot of separation between the motorists and the bicyclists. So that's kind of why that kind of came about. And there's more right of way on the east side of the street, on the St. Pete side, on the Gulfport side. You've got parking right there, and that's really pretty critical to those businesses.
Right.
You already have issues with the sidewalks. There wasn't gonna be a good, easy way for us to put it in on the Gulfport side, or even split it so it's half and half. Really, the idea, I think, was room and right that we had. It made more sense to do it kind of all on the St. Pete side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I wouldn't take a bike lane in 49 personally.
No, that's kind of the feedback we heard. You could kind of wedge one in,
Yeah.
but most people aren't going to feel comfortable enough to use it. People are just gonna be like, nobody's ever in the bike lane. Of course not, you know, so yeah, that makes some sense.
Any additional questions or concerns from Ms. Cheryl?
I'll be back giving you guys routine updates, so obviously this won't be the last time you see me. I did not put my email address on this, so I should do that next time, so you can contact me. But yeah.
That's all. All right, well, thank you so much, Ms. Cheryl, for that update. We really appreciate that. All right, next on our agenda, we have our community policing update presented by Officer Michael Blatch.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
Hope
evening.
everybody had a good Christmas, good New Year's and holidays. I'm still not really back in the swing of things. I'm still, every year it takes me longer to get back. So I was taking vacation over, you know. So I was pulling the stats. I know the last meeting was in November, December 1st, I believe it was. And so I pulled the stats for the last 2 months, and I thought that I would be there pulling them a lot longer than I actually was. It really, there's not much to speak of, I'm just being honest. There's traffic accidents. I know you guys obviously in coordination with, you know, what we're doing over there. there were 17 traffic accidents over the course of 2 months. It's like nothing, just being honest. I've seen a lot worse, and I think that we were ahead of that just in 1 month, usually when I report here. So we had 18 traffic stops, and saying that, I know when I was at the Child's Park meeting, I talked about there was an uptick of traffic stops. They're running a whole bunch of different traffic stops, really kind of trying to focus on the e-bikes because new laws came into effect and whatnot. They have another one planned for next year. I'm not sure the area, but I patrol this area quite a bit. I would say that 34th Street with the e-bikes is a lot worse than 49th Street, generally. So there was 18 traffic stops, and obviously we're just talking about strip. Now 49th Street off a block or two. And all these stats, once again, I'm reporting for St. Pete, not Gulfport. I don't have access to their stats. We had 5 directed patrols. That's a mixture of direct patrols and park walk and talks. 5 citizen contacts. That's just getting out and actually speaking to citizens. We only had one unarmed robbery in the course of 2 months. Nothing more than that. There was an aggravated assault that wound up not being an aggravated assault. So that stat just kind of goes away. There was 1 residential burglary. Like I said, this is kind of like, make sure when I pull up the streets and the boundaries and everything, there's houses mixed into this. And then there was 1 vehicle burglary for the whole 2 months. So, I mean, it's really good. Yeah, it's not really a pattern. There's not really much to say about it. It's just everything looks a lot better than I was expecting when I pulled up 2 months worth of stats.
Right. That's good. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
I do have a question on far as community contact. Is that something that you guys is going to start implementing where you do more out on foot contact with people, just to build those friendships and relationships? Like, what is the goals of the city of St. Pete for this corridor intentionally?
Well, intentionally, I think with police officers getting out with direct patrols and stuff like that, a lot of them, there's different types of direct patrols, and sometimes I'll even put just other. So I'm looking for any kind of crime there is, or getting out with people, business contacts, things like that. Now, getting out with people, park walk talks, all that, chief implemented that, I think, when he first came here.
Yeah.
I would say when he just got here, but he's been here for a long time now. So there are park walk and talks consistently going on. And I think a lot of that goes from what officers are seeing in crime trends and things like that.
Like,
Yeah.
actually, it's a park.
Yeah.
Park your car, get out of your car, walk around and talk to people.
Mhm.
Yeah. So a lot of them will generally be done, Charles Park Rec Center, other rec centers, things like that. Areas where maybe we need to identify people who are involved in other things and just get in and talk to them. Business contacts, like I said, and whatnot. I would say that we are kind of all over the place. There's a big court, and this is District 3, as far as the city police department goes. So we're kind of all over the place. We'll be out at, Jungle Prada one day, we'll be in Child's Park the next, we'll be up on north of Central, like 34th Street. So we kind of go all around. But as far as the department's plan, I think that it's just that, get out, speak with people, and make yourself present and known. So then your presence kind of shows the crime.
So that
doesn't stop everything, but.
So that'd be something I speak to the chief of police about, because that is something that he's very strong on, and park and walk. However, I don't see that much on this corridor. And so I want to be specific on or clear on the reason why it's not happening so much on this corridor, not Charles Park, not to minimize them per se, but I don't want it to be, or I'm intentionally don't want it to be into the prone areas, like make relationships, period, and I just think that's more important than targeting the areas where you think a suspect may be at, or, literally antagonizing people. Like, you come in there because it's known for drugs versus coming in and creating those contacts, making those relationships that'll actually really stop them from doing certain things because they know that Officer Bless is going to come through on foot, or Officer Brown may come through on this day here. You never know. They're not coming to look for us intentionally, but they're coming to talk to people in the neighborhoods. But not only that, the corridor, we have all the different businesses in these different plazas. So even if they park and walk in that plaza with over 9 or 10 businesses there, that alone is something that shows presence, that shows that you actually want to engage what the chief of police says he wants to do. This is his, I'd be a lot of meetings with him. These are things that he says he wants to do. So now it's like, to take this information back and say, oh yeah, well, did you forget about the corridor? Because, the report was five times, of a whole year, probably maybe 12, if that. But it was because you thought something was going on. I wanted to have the more intentional one, like to build that relationships back up and the trust back up in the communities on both sides and presence. So now,
Yeah, that is, and as far as the intention of those, I don't know, because that's an individual officer calling them. So I can't tell you what the intentions of that officer that
Did it, yeah.
talked to it, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I can't speak to any intentions, whether they were looking for a suspect or whether they were looking to build relationships.
Mhm.
And obviously, I agree with what you're saying. I believe in building relationships with the community. I was successful in homicide doing that because people knew me
Mhm.
and people still know me. So it's very important to do this. Yeah.
We do that on the golf course side. I'm sorry, should we do that on the golf course side? Does the golf court PD come and chat? And do you know anyone?
No.
I'd love to get to know them better.
I asked the chief of police about that before, Ms. Nancy, and the Gulfport chief of police response was at that, not right now, the current one, but the prior one. They said unless they get a call out for something, that's the only time they're coming out. They don't engage in any capacity unless it's wanted. Like, so you guys the residents will have a call for them to come out. They don't do anything voluntarily. I asked a couple times, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I have been issues with people trying to use that money, but I had given.
No, I talked to them. I talked to the PC.
Okay.
They kind of had the same reaction I did. That was probably.
What was that? Can you repeat what she said for everyone else? I'm sorry.
So this is stemming over from the Child Park meeting. She found some prop money while she was walking on the trail. And they
A lot of $100.
prop money in music videos. Instead of saying in God we trust, it says in prop we trust.
Yeah.
Different things like that. So, yeah, nobody's trying to pass it.
Yeah, well, that's what I.
Nobody's trying to pass it.
There was a whole bunch of them. So you see that? I brought it to you the same day.
Do we look that real? So like,
Yeah.
all right. Anybody else have any more questions or concerns or feedback for Officer Bletch whilst we have him present? We do value his time, so we are going to allow him to exit after he's done. My granddaughter has a question. I hate to know that it's going to be. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that?
How is it like being?
Good question.
Well, how can I say this? It varies day by day.
You have no control.
Because you have to think of, so I've been a police officer for 17 years. I've done so many different things. When I first started, I was just a regular patrol officer. I was responding to 911 calls. And then I went to a kind of career offender unit, where I would be checking on people, making sure they were doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then I went to an auto theft unit, and then I went to major crimes. So each one of those jobs was different. But I think that my overall feeling toward being a police officer is that it is one of service. And you're trying to protect people, and you're trying to do what you can to help the quality of life a better environment for you. The answer is, those are good questions.
All right, so if no one else has any more questions for Officer Bletch, we're gonna go ahead and dismiss him for tonight. We can get back to his duty.
Thank you so much, Officer Bletch.
Thank you so much. All right, next, we have the City of Gulfport updates, and on behalf of this issue here, I'm gonna allow Miss Nancy Early, Ward 4, Councilwoman, to speak on regards to any updates from the city of, Gulfport. Just brief one about the things, about what we talked about.
I don't have any. I wasn't sure that he would be here or not. So
Yeah.
I'll make sure he is going. But I will tell you that it's election season. And we have Gary Nelson here who's running for Ward 3. And also Ward 1 is up for grabs as well. So.
It's Ward 1.
Vote.
Yes.
Vote.
Make sure you vote.
You vote into citywide election, yep. Registration for every vote. So yeah, if people have questions about that, you vote for everybody no matter where they live.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna move on from that. The next thing we have on our agenda is gonna be Keith Pennell's.
We also have Councilmember Corey Gibbons Jr. from St. Pete.
Yes, okay, yes. Yep, she's actually eased up in here in the next section. Hold that thought, I got a spot, hold on. Right here, yeah, hold on. So I just want to do a brief update in regards to Keith Pinnella's beautiful partnership with the corridor. So we have our 2026 community cleanup dates on our agenda. The first one will be starting on March the 21st at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It is always located at the Charlie Mart Square, so 4900 Tangerine Avenue South. We are constantly looking for volunteers to help with that cleanups in general. There is a link that is sent out via email and on our Facebook pages also where you can sign up and volunteer. They bring every supply that you need. So the only thing we need you to do is bring your body and everything else is there for you. We have collected much litter over the last 2 years as we've been doing this initiative. So this has been a partnership that we look forward to and it helps beautify our actual corridor. So you'll see all the dates coming up for the 2026 year. Any one of these dates you guys see, if you have any friends, loved ones, anybody that can come out and help us clean up, we'll greatly appreciate it. Again, those links will be on our social media sites or on the email. So we'll send the emails out. If you guys are not part of our email distribution, get with my Vice President, Sierra Clark, and she will get you registered for that also today. Okay.
Can y'all get some gloves that's non-latex, cause they are all latex.
Oh yeah, let me see, it's paper coming off.
Okay.
Take that.
I'm allergic to latex.
All right.
Okay, I think we can talk to them about that. Or bring by.
Yeah. All right. And then, so we're going to have this section right here is amended intentionally right now. So I'm going to go ahead and allow Mr. Corey Gibbons Jr. from the city of St. Pete to give us some updates on the corridor, his role, his vision for us on the corridor also. So Mr. Corey, can you stand up and give us a couple of things that you know?
Nancy, I'm gonna come around over here.
Okay.
I'm gonna see my brother Jabbar, if that's okay. So, oh, yeah, see my YouTube thing. Good to see you. Good evening, everybody. Forgive my tardiness. Thank you so much, Madam President, for having me. Good to see you, Madam Vice President, and thank you all so much for being here this evening. I won't take up too much time because Cheryl already stole my thunder. She is pretty much. She stole yours too. I know. She should take off.
Sorry.
We just want to be like
But
you.
it's so good, it's such good news, how can you not?
I know, right?
Yeah.
But thank you, Cheryl. As always, she's so well prepared and she really explained it in a way that we can all understand it. And so I'm so grateful that she did put this package together. I'm happy that funding is finally moving forward. We have the US DOT funding that's coming through. And beyond just financial resources, I'm working behind the scenes on the St. Pete side to make sure that we have the governance structure in place. Obviously, we want to make sure we support our businesses. That's the purpose of Fusion 49. You all are kind of doing the boots on the ground work. We want to try to do the heavy lifting from the city official side. So I'm trying to organize some folks behind the scenes between the greenhouse with Roger. He's just taken his position over there, Roger Elgin. So we're trying to give him an opportunity to get acclimated to his new role so that eventually, and she hasn't heard this yet, but we're going to invite Nancy in so that way she can kind of get some coaching from some of these other business districts like the Edge District and Grand Central. These are some folks who have really gotten these districts up and running. These are the folks who really did the organizing in the initial phases. And so where you all are now, they've been there 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, the Warehouse Arts District. these people are willing to work with your leadership to make sure that she doesn't have to go through the same challenges and obstacles that they had to experience. And hopefully they can share some best practices, some strategic goals and things like that to really get Fusion 49 where you all are supposed to be. Not saying that you're not where you need to be, but we want to get you to that next level. So between the resources that the city has through our economic and workforce development department, and then also through the greenhouse, I want to make sure that you all are situated for success. And then, as you know, there's so many different infrastructure upgrades that are going on along the corridor from Central Avenue down to 22nd Avenue South. So just making sure that we keep you all in tune and up to date with those progresses. And then lastly, but certainly not least, community events. I was not able to make it to the Crowd World, but I heard that was a very big success. Working with you all on a calendar of events that we can kind of stay in sync with the city of Gulfport. I definitely want to step up and have a larger presence as your council representative. I think there's too much work for us to be doing alone. We can't operate in our silos. We got to work together. So any kind of way that I can support you all from my position as a city council member in St. Pete, I'm happy to do that. So again, thank y'all for having me. I'll shut up and ask any questions if y'all have. Yes, sir.
No, I was talking to her.
Oh, you saying goodbye.
I was trying to let her look at her phone.
She coming right back. She coming back. Thank you, Ms.
Great job.
So, what about the work you're doing with Lincoln Cemetery?
Well, I'm glad you asked. There'll actually be a cleanup. So speaking of Lincoln, I think everybody knows about Lincoln Cemetery. I don't have to go into details. So we do have a cleanup scheduled on February 7th. That's going to be from 9 to 11 a.m. This cleanup is with the Divine Nine. So if you're familiar with the term, it's for this. Well, we said 11, it's before 11 o'clock, so hopefully you can slip in.
This is at 11. This is my cousin.
We gonna be done by 11, so stop by. If you can. If not, we are accepting donations. So if you cannot make the physical sacrifice to be there, we need everything from non-latex gloves to latex gloves, trash bags, rakes, trimmers, edgers, mowers, you name it. Cross and Amble is the cemetery's deed of record owner. And Pastor Williams is over that organization. I've been working with him to try to schedule some volunteer cleanups. So we do have one scheduled this month, and then there'll be another one later on in April. And we're also planning a big 100th anniversary gala that will be held at the Museum of History. And so we're going to get you those details. You jumping the gun, bro. But we will also have a committee that I'm hoping you'd be willing to serve on, and Sierra and others who are interested in Lincoln. Because it's going to take a lot of planning. This is the 100th anniversary, and with all the political conversations aside, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done at the cemetery. And Pastor Williams has gone in his own pocket and trying to take care of some of that. And I'm very grateful for him for doing that. I have family that's buried in Lincoln, so if someone's willing to make, and other people do too. So if you have people who are willing to sacrifice their own financial resources to take care of your family's ancestral burial grounds, you do what you can to support. So I'm just trying to step up and help as best as I can. But again, this gala, that's going to be planned later on this year, sometime in the fall. But we are looking for people from Gulfport and St. Pete to work together to plan that big event. Proceeds will benefit Cross and Amble to help maintain the cemetery in perpetuity. But even beyond that, Sierra, to answer your point, we've also recently applied for a grant, and we're working with USF St. Pete and Asala to begin documenting the oral histories of people who have family buried in Lincoln, people who remember Lincoln, and just people who have memories of St. Pete in general. So we're trying to document the oral histories of Lincoln Cemetery and the cemeteries that were lost at the historic gas plant site.
Right. I think that's beautiful. That's good. Good job. Thank you for that update.
Any questions?
No.
I'm here to listen, so I'll be around. No, thank you.
All right. So next on the agenda, we have ways to get involved, and we're going to have my vice president, Sierra Clark, give you that information. Ways to get involved. Joyful Day, Beautiful Beings. Again, thank you for everyone for being here. So although we do volunteer our time, we do not take that lightly. And so ways to get involved, one, starting with your heart. I think that's the most important part. But we do have committees that need some activation. And so ways to get involved. One, I feel like our cleanups is the touch point, right? The cleanups allows you to meet corridor businesses, allows you to meet individuals who are part of the district, and then it allows you to just engage. So I think when our elbows are rubbing together, just so much more can happen from that, right? You can naturally figure out what's going on. So we do have committee opportunities, and those things are going out in the newsletter. So please see me, because I got a QR code that you can sign up to if you're not connected to the newsletter, to be able to do that. And I recommend coming out, because before you get involved, come do a cleanup so you can really figure out if this is what you want to do anyways, opposed to sitting in meetings month after month and then you decide that, wait a minute, this isn't truly what I want to do. So just meet us at our touch point, which is our monthly cleanups, which is the dates right there, to get involved. So again, we are a volunteer organization, and it don't really work unless the people make it work. So we have to decide how we want to do that. I made my commitment. I'm still here. And so looking for committed people to join a committee so we can continue to move forward. I just met at the Enoch Davis Center. There was a lady who helps small businesses who have employees be able to get them benefits. And I think those are the things that we want to bring to the businesses on the corridor, to how can we really position our businesses so that they can sustain. That's what the business corridor is truly, truly all about. And then, so those are ways to get involved and for the committee opportunities, and then the volunteer engagement. I think I kind of looped all that in together, because I don't really see how one is without the other, like the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? But this is all volunteer. Y'all volunteered to be here today, and so again, not taking that lightly. And our monthly markets, like just look, listen, we talked about those monthly markets. I cried about those monthly markets. Like the work was really, it was real, but we got it done. And the cool thing about this quarter, Mr. Corey mentioned about, we'll be able to be in a room with different stakeholders who started, business districts. But the unique thing about Fusion 49th is that we have to deal with two municipalities, not just one. And I said it right. That word is always challenging. So we have to deal with two municipalities in trying to build and structure what we want to do. And that's not an easy thing. It's challenging with just dealing with one node of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many is that? 7, 1, 2. I'm trying to count them. I see them. But then we got a whole nother or another entity that we have to deal with who could possibly tell us no. So this work is truly unique. It is historical. We are definitely doing something that is going to go down in history. So it could be something your grandchildren will be loved to talk about, how you played a part in what this is going to be in the future. So our markets, we decided not to have one this month, and we're moving to our next market, which is March 14th. We are still looking for sponsors. So if you're in a position to talk to individuals about talking to us about sponsoring a market, we are coming up with so we have our cool business assessment that we created when we were here in a working meeting to figure out what questions that we wanted to ask businesses. And so we're getting ready to do some canvassing. So signing up for the newsletter so we can get some volunteers with boots on the ground, so we can talk to definitely have businesses fill out the business assessment, get their free honorary decal for being an honorary business on the corridor, and then letting them know about the grant money and what's happening inside the corridor. Like, you want your business to be a part of the change, because if not, the change is going to happen either way, and then your business, it won't really benefit your business because your business didn't come out and do be a part of it. Right? So, and so we do need volunteers for various spots during the market. So again, volunteering your time. It's a cool place to be. Listen, the DJ does this thing. I'm always dancing. The food is great, right? So it's not just like, it's you might not want to volunteer here, but you want to volunteer at the markets. I'm telling you, it gets you out. It's fresh air. It's a whole cool thing. And so March 14th is our next market from 12 to 6 we start.
I had to be there 8 o'clock in the morning, but I guess if you volunteer, we can have some windows of where you can come, but it's from 12 to 6, and it is a great time, especially when you look around and you see community. Like I have a quote about there is something magic that only happens in community. And that's us, right? And so that's it. And so again, we need volunteers for that. We got community opportunities, and we have an opportunity to continue what we started here. When we first did our first meeting at Tiki Tavern, we're just continuing that. It looks different, right? It feels different, but the mission is still the same. And so you're needed to do that. And after that, we are going to open the floor for any questions or concerns or comments.
As a question.
Yes, Mr. J.
If you volunteer, what are you gonna be doing volunteering?
Which one?
To this?
Oh, so you coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning with me? Because if you come in at 8 o'clock in the morning with me, we got to put the barricades out. And so vendors are literally already there. We direct them to where they're going to be. The food trucks are usually on the side of the road that's blocked off. So you help direct them to where they're going to be. Individuals who are unloading their car, they're to unload, give them the instructions. If they did not join the vendor orientation, which some of them don't always do, you have to reiterate to them, unload your car, then go park your car, and then you come back and set up. So it's just really engaging, so everything flows smoothly. So when the individuals come, vendors are all set up and we're ready to rock and roll.
It was nice last time. I came out there.
Thank you. I ain't see you. I like it.
I
Yes,
still for you. You wasn't there.
at 8 o'clock in the morning?
No, when they started at 12.
Oh, man.
Um,
I ain't gonna say you didn't. No, that mean you ain't, I was
Yeah, I
dancing
was there.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
he followed with some with them.
we were waiting for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one, okay, that one, the last one then. Okay. That was it, Ms. Yvette, you got another question?
That was it.
Okay. Ms. Courtney?
I saw you dancing. I was,
Thank you.
it was, Ruth Franklin, great. I just wanted to know if folks know vendors that want to join,
Mm.
how do they get involved? How do we spread the word to grow the vendor?
So you go to Saturday morning shops currently,
Saturday shop.
Saturday shops, .com.
And then do you know if do you need to get on a registry? Is there like a sign up fee to be on that registry? Or will more
Not a
information-
registry.
So
It's-
basically, it's like you go onto the website in itself and whatever role you're gonna play. So say you're gonna be a paparazzi vendor, it's gonna have a spot straight on there. It's intentional where it only allows a certain amount of people to come. So you're not gonna have 19 paparazzis. That's not happening. But it may be opening for 2. You sign up for that. You pay your fee for your vending, which is averages like from $50 all the way to $150 for vendor fees. Majority of people pay like $65 for their vendor fees, but it's a food truck, they be $150 like we did. But it's very simple. You just go on there and whatever date. So even with our ones for the March the 14th, that date on there, and our ones that's going to be coming up later on is there. So whatever day you choose to be part of the trolley markets, you can click on it and just fill out your information. We're being more intentional to make sure we put it on our social media pages and also include those links inside our emails when we send it out also. We have done it previously, but to bring more attention to it. So we need more of the word of mouth to go around to get people to understand the ways to sign up for it, But it does get posted on our social sites. So the worst case scenario, follow Fusion 49th District on Facebook and Instagram, and that stuff will be on there regardless, searchable. But those fees are intentional to be affordable also.
Right. We got another question? Yes, sir. Brother.
No question, just wanted to acknowledge the work that's going into making this happen, and I think at the last one, they did a count, and was it over 1,000 people who came out?
Oh, yeah, we did do that. Yes.
I just want to give you all some flowers.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
The economic impact to the local was like $10,000 for this last one.
Really?
So our vendors, all of that. Yep.
Right. Oh, that's
Very
beautiful.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I told y'all we going somewhere. Like don't let what always the eyes could be deceiving sometimes, right? So don't let that always fool you. So you want to be a part of this. You want to be a part of it. So yeah, no. No. So any other questions? Okay, we got a hand in the back.
Can civic nonprofit organizations be part of that also?
Civic nonprofit organizations be a part of. The vendor? Yeah, as a information vendor?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Their fee would be, they'll fall into the informational category, and it will be $65 for them to actually register, but yes, they are. And it's like traditionally like maybe 12 spots per informations. So it's, you have an opportunity to be there if they want to be there. Mhm.
And then I thought I saw another thing.
Then Mr. Gibbons had a question?
If somebody has more
Yes.
comments, just a couple of things that I wanted to share that I forgot. Collard Green Festival.
Yes.
For those who would like to attend, that's gonna be Valentine's Day, February 14th from 9 to 2 on the Deuces. And then also the
Can you
city.
explain what the Deuces is at?
Yeah, 22nd Street, sorry, 22nd Street South, on 9th Avenue. That's probably the best landmark I can give you. If you know where the African American History Museum is, the Carter G. Woodson, right there. So it's a good spot. And then also the Business Legacy Program. So the city just announced a great program to recognize legacy businesses, and with this being a business organization, I really think you guys should push this to the businesses on the corridor.
Okay.
What this is going to do is it's going to highlight businesses that have been in existence for at least 20 years. That's the eligibility, and the whole goal is to really celebrate and to push and to promote and to market these legacy businesses. We're talking about the Anderson Lumbers, the McCalls, right?
Right.
These are businesses that have been around, and we want to see them sustained. So if you can nominate a business, if you're aware of one, you can go on the city's website to do that. It's an easy link, about 5 questions that it asks you, and it's very easy. Those businesses will be announced on April 14th. When we announce those businesses, they'll get like a special welcome mat to go at the door of their business, and also a sign to put in the window.
Oh,
So
I like that.
I think it's a really cool program. And then lastly, we mentioned Park Walk and Talk. I just want to celebrate Officer Bletch real quick. Since I've been on council, which is a year now, we've done at least 2 Park Walk and Talks in Childs Park. But to your point, Ms. Nancy, we will make sure our next Park Walk and Talk is on the 49th Street corridor, and we'll be passing these out to businesses. So thank you.
So I do want to piggyback just a little bit when you mentioned the legacy. I did see that there initially when it first got released from the city. I went on to that, just looking for the spot of nomination, just to see, I know it was like people over 20 years, but then it also looked like the business itself needs to apply for that. It's not like it wasn't letting you just do nominations.
You can nominate. I was just looking at the website, so I don't know if it wasn't
Yeah.
live at that time.
Yeah, but I say when I went on it, I'll be open.
Was it since yesterday, Ms. Nancy? Was it since yesterday?
Yeah, it came out before yesterday. It came out so the day is Monday, so it came out I got it Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Well, you can now, so I'll make sure I send you that link, so if you know.
yeah, I got it on Thursday. Yeah, so
Go,
Ms. Karen.
Yes.
That's just for the snake pizza.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
Mhm.
See, it'd be really nice to do something for the corporate side as well. I mean, the whole idea of legacy business. Isn't that sounding?
A big copy of it. Yeah.
Right, and you
Use the
should,
middle link part. I think we're set up there. No.
Yeah.
and that's the unique thing about the 2 municipalities, and I said it again, right, y'all. Is that we're on this together, so we have to, yeah, it's the fusion of that. And at some point, right, I think going forward, when one thing happens, it should just flow down fusion and not have to be a St. Pete side and a Gulfport side. That it is just just the one quarter, one mind, one fusion.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so that was Mr. Gibbons. Anybody else have any questions or concerns, comments, suggestions? This meeting is set to be for 2 hours, so I did allow that time for 2 hours, but I do want to be respectful of everyone's time. So at any given time when I'm in a meeting, especially if I'm the one, doing it, if we leave a little early, I'm okay with that, as long as everyone inside.
Right.
As long as everyone inside here. But I don't want anyone to leave out with anything not being addressed. If you have any questions while the people are actually in the room to do that there, I want to allow that time. And so if there's not any more questions and stuff like that. Okay.
So I just want to acknowledge somebody. I see Franklin Everest in the room. So I just want to, Franklin, you probably already, did you do your introduction?
Barely.
Okay, good.
Barely.
So I want to, right? So Franklin is the 2026 president of Kona, which is the Council of Neighborhood Associations. Right? And so I have seen Franklin inside of the
So he's Kona, could you explain what Kona, or we can have Mr. Franklin?
Kona, the Council of Neighborhood Association. Okay, and I have seen Kona in Kona. I have seen Franklin inside of Charles Park Neighborhood Association. I now see him at Fusion 49th. And so, but this is what I think what we mean, just getting out and playing in the community, because how you know what's going on unless you do that. So that's why I am pointing you out for that reason. But if you want to go in a little deeper with what Kona is and your plans for 2026, I think that would be a cool thing.
And I think you guys have a leadership program too that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, no, have at it. No.
Oh, and we still gonna go.
So
No,
we
still leave.
we're intentional. So like any information or resources we can pass while we're in these meetings and for our viewers, we want to get it out there. So take the floor.
Yeah, so the Council Neighborhood Association is, how do I explain this? Well, neighborhoods pay to us and we help organize them with other neighborhood associations, connect with other opportunities that are happening. Right now this year, we're working with really getting neighborhoods connected and learning from each other. I think you said it perfectly. Making sure that folks aren't reinventing the wheel. There's a lot of really cool successes that neighborhoods are having that is excellent within their communities. So our big goal this year is to share that. And so like one of the things I wrote down was what you all were talking about earlier with the walking with steps. I want to learn what that is because that sounds great to get people out in their neighborhoods, connected and walking around. There's a big, as we know, kind of loneliness epidemic happening within our culture. And so a big part of bringing that together is neighborhoods, and neighborhoods kind of can help tie that together. So we're going to be working on what other neighborhoods are doing that are successful, and we can train that out. But like Nancy said, we do have leadership training to help neighborhood leaders develop those civic skills. That's unique for us at Kona because it's made by neighborhood leaders. It's not ran by city staff, so we can kind of have a say in how that looks and how to advocate for ourselves as a community. And then so we keep developing more programs this year. That's kind of our goal, so that neighborhoods can get local grants, national grants, and just kind of get some money to help make improvements to their communities. So we've got a lot going on.
So let me ask you this question on behalf of my city of Gulfport residents and business owners. Is it only for the city of St. Pete, or can Gulfport residents come to Kona leaderships?
Everyone's welcome to join. For the Kona leadership, I actually don't think there is an exclusion to it, but it would be very St. Pete focused. You guys need St. Pete Parks and Rec and TPD, and so a lot of it, the internal mechanisms might not translate, but the motions will be the same.
Sure.
So there's still opportunity probably for them to join. Our leadership program is in progress right now, and they do open in November for January for the upcoming year. So
We do. Oh, we got a hand back. Go ahead, Bridget.
No, I just remember, this is going back probably 8 or 9 years ago. There was a conversation about the Council of Neighborhoods of Southern Pinellas, I think was like the other part of the name.
yeah.
And so just, I don't know if there's been any traction with moving toward that. We actually had a member who was running for a seat in, he was a resident of Gulfport. He was running to be on the board of Kona when that conversation was happening at the time. So maybe we can connect on
Yeah,
how do we close that gap so that it's not
Oh.
so St. Pete Pacific, and maybe we can open it up to Southern Pinellas County. But I don't know if that's still.
No, I think that got lost with transition. It is our legal name is Southern Pinellas.
Okay.
I just assume that there's also like another LLC that's inactive, so I just
Okay.
made a new one up. So no, there's a whole.
And I didn't even know that. I love that. See what happens when you get in the room with people and you start talking about stuff? That's that rubbing their elbows. See, the magic happens, right? The magic happens.
And Dr. John, if I can just add to that point, he probably knows this, but it formerly was known as the Council Neighborhood Associations of Pinellas County historically. So this goes back over 60 years ago, but I guess it's just kind of just been narrowed down over time. So that's a good idea to get back to the roots, right?
Also, I just wanted to go back just a little bit in regards to the cancellation of our February meeting. Mr. Councilmember, I'm sorry. Oh, the market, I'm sorry, the market. The one that we canceled in February, just gonna piggyback on Mr. Gibbons when he mentioned that that was intentional cancellation because they did have the Collard Green Festival going on February the 14th. They also had Shopalooza going on that day. They also had the Blues Is All Right tour.
And now the
And then
neighbor,
it's Valentine's Day, so it was multiple things that.
and the Rays is doing a block party.
Yeah,
So it's like,
But other than that, our markets are intentional every second Saturday of the month. But that, with that exception, that's the reason why we did that executive decision to go ahead and move it or cancel it and continue with our March one. So intentionally on that.
and just for future, if anything else other big is happening on the day that we're doing the market, you go there and then you come here, right? Because we still gonna be here, right? So that's what I'm saying. So that's it.
So then also in this moment now, I'm gonna open up the floor for any events and stuff and updates also. I do want to start off with Brother John intentionally for the Child's Park. He is the president of Child's Park, and I want him to provide us with any updates or anything that's going on with their Child's Park organization that we may need to be aware of or any events.
I'm thinking, and the best place to go would be the Child Park Neighborhood Association Facebook page. We also have our neighborhood wellness walks on the fourth Saturday of every month. We also are doing Zumba like on the third. So I'm gonna start doing this and nobody writes it down. I'm just saying stuff, but so the best place to go is to the neighborhood association page and you'll be able to see all the events and activities.
When is the neighborhood association
The
meeting?
neighborhood association meeting is, and I'm waiting for the pans, right?
Oh, I got my pen. Third Tuesday of every month.
6:30 p.m. at the Child's Park Recreation Center.
I'll be there.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Brother John.
And that's it. Does anyone else have anything going on that you want to know?
That you wanna
Courtney,
know?
Got a hand right here.
We have our first anniversary party on February 7th from 3 to 9. We would love to invite all of you. I'm sorry, it's Girls Salon and Social. We're on 49th and Newton Avenue, right across from One Chick, One Bro. So please,
Okay.
we'd like to come. We did it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I.
Graphic or something that you can share to add to the fusion.
Absolutely. Need your email or something.
Yes.
Right there.
And just as she just mentioned that it is something that we want to be intentional about also. Fusion 49th is here to help the businesses and events that's on this corridor. So if you know any business owners or any residential things that's going on that we need to share within our sites or our emails, please have those people send that to us. We are supporting them throughout everything that's going on. So whether it's an anniversary, whether it's a barbecue cookout, we want to have it on there to potentially bring more attention and traffic to this corridor. So if you guys know anybody, please spread that word so they can get that to us. They can get it to us via email or they can text me on phone directly, which is my number is going to be 727-710-6676. And then also you can email or inbox the Fusion 49th business page and we can get that information over.
On Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
Facebook or Instagram, either one of those. We'll get it over there in general. I will say that we are intentional. I'm sorry, I'll probably work alone. I am intentional with those advertisements. So if it's something graphic, if it's something that's going to cause any kind of form of division, it probably won't be them, but it most likely will be B who will decline to put that up. I'm not one for anything that involves that kind of stuff. So if it's not something that aligns with our vision or something I think can be productive and growing for everybody, it will not get posted. So I'm gonna tell you right now, it's probably not them. It's gonna be me all day long.
Okay.
Yes, sir, Bob.
I go after you.
My name is Courtney. I'm with a number of various organizations in Gulfport and Gulfportlandia, Gulfport area, South St. Pete. I just wanted to lift up a few things. It's a very heavy time in our world right now, and I think it's important that we come together around issues that matter. I'm also with the Florida Interfaith Coalition and League of Women's Voters Immigrant Justice Team. There are vigils that happen for immigrant justice and to call for the end of 287G agreements. 287G agreements are a formal agreement between law enforcement agencies and the federal Department of Homeland Security. And I acknowledge that there is a police officer in this room, and this is a sensitive issue. I've had the privilege of speaking with other police officers in other municipalities. Ending 287G is not inherently anti-police. If anything, it's protecting our police to allow them to do what we need them to do, which is have community trust. The fact that we have police here at this meeting is testimony to the fact that there is community trust with our police officers.
So it's not, I just wanna lay that out there. There's misinformation. It's a difficult time. It's not inherently anti-police. But the vigils happen outside of the Pinellas Justice Center, which is the courthouse on 49th
Like
Street
Sunday.
North, 142nd and 49th Street North,
Mhm.
every Sunday from 4 to 5 p.m. I know there's some clergy in this room and people of faith. If you would ever like to, as a faith leader, present at one of these vigils, we would love, love, love to have you. There's also, Councilmember Newens, you perhaps have heard that there is a vigil happening at City Council on this Thursday. There is an invitation for a lot of council members to come to these vigils, but for various reasons, they weren't able to, or two speakers. So we're gonna bring the vigil to you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. You don't necessarily need to be a community resident, but if you're going to speak, you do need to be a city resident. And also, Mr. Edmonds, I was at the meeting at Dominion, and very, very powerful meeting about trying to mobilize around getting an early voting site. South Lake East. Right now, the only site is right here in Gulfport. We all know what Gulfport means for a lot of people. We need to come together. And I think, again, this isn't necessarily business related, but this is a community. This is a board.
Absolutely.
And so if that's something that we can lift up in future meetings, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Well, thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah. So, my only thing is, I'm also a member owner of the One Community Grocery Co-op. Our fearless leader couldn't make it today, so I just would like to invite everyone to the One Community Grocery Co-op. If you want to learn more, go to ocgc.coop. That's ocgc.coop. And it's a co-op that's looking to build right here in our community, the South St. Petersburg area. Comes to the 49th Street Market every Sunday or
Every second Saturday.
The first Sunday of every month.
Yeah. But I just want to know.
Makers and growers.
Yeah, they tell me
At Red Feather. Yeah.
and I love it. I love that little market. That's great. But thank y'all on One Community Grocery Co-op, ocgc.coop.
Thank you. Anybody else want to add anything? Anything that's happening?
See you coming out next time.
14.
19.
49th Street.
Yeah, they said they right across the street from
This
One
Saturday,
Chicken Brook.
3 to 9.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a business assessment.
Across the street.
We're trying to get, can I get y'all to fill out your business assessment so you can get your honorary fees up?
All right, if there's no more questions, I'm preparing to adjourn.
No, just hearing that.
I'm preparing to adjourn the meeting. I just don't want to cut anybody else off.
I like that. I like that. I want to join. I want to join. I love it. I love it. I love it.
No, I just want to give. So yeah, so the meeting is officially over. I'm just gonna say adjourn. No, I'm not even gonna say it.